What's going on with y'all? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Continue to like and subscribe all our videos. Now, today we are here to talk about the beef between Giannis Antetokounmpo and James Harden, two NBA MVPs. Giannis looking like he's on his way to winning back-to-back MVPs. James Harden is an MVP in a season prior, but probably should have like at least one or two more of those things. But here, shout out to ESPN for stirring up this beef. So basically, let me give you the backstory. Giannis, of course, was one of the All-Star captains. He and LeBron James, you know, they do the All-Star draft. I love it. Fantasy draft kind of thing. Love it. So when Giannis was up to pick, he had James Harden still left on the board. He said, hey, I'm going to take a guy that passes more. So I'm going to take Kemba Walker over James Harden because I like the way he passes, you know, jokingly, whatever, you know, yada, yada. Him and Charles were going back and forth. It was kind of funny. So in this most recent interview, Rachel Nichols of ESPN spoke with James Harden, and she brought it up, you know, kind of smiling, whatever, but James wasn't smiling. So she goes, yeah, you know, Giannis made the joke about how you don't pass, and he took Kemba over you because he passes more. And James Harden was like, man, don't I average more assists than him? Oh, yeah, I do. James is 10th in assists per game. Kemba's 36th. And so then this is where it gets good. James Harden comes out and says, I mean, would it take, I know, I wish I was 7 foot and could just dunk. It takes no skill. What I do actually takes a lot of skill. I had to learn to play basketball because I'm not 7 feet. What? James Harden loaded up the cannon and took a big bang at Giannis. Now, Giannis, this week, I don't know what it is about Giannis, but Drake tried to troll Giannis when they came up to Toronto, brought out the championship belts to let them know, like, hey, we went through y'all last year to win the championship. Kawhi's not there anymore, so just FYI. But now James Harden is like, yeah, I wasn't really messing with that. You know, he went on to say, I don't pay attention to those kind of things. Yes, you do. You're lying. Because you wouldn't have responded if you didn't pay attention to those kind of things. Now, here's the thing. James is simply wrong about Giannis. If all it took was to be 7 foot to be as good as Giannis, then everybody 7 foot would be that good. No, Giannis is probably going to be a 2-time MVP by the end of the season. So he has some skill. He has some talent. But let's not take away the fact that what James Harden says has some truth to it. All of it wasn't true. Now, to be a smaller player in the NBA, I do think, obviously, it takes a high level of skill. James Harden isn't a small player, but he is only 6'5", right? And he can shoot, he can pass, he can dribble. He has a better shot, handle, and passing ability than Giannis Antetokounmpo. Those are like the skill parts of playing basketball. Now, Giannis has a high IQ, is very, very strong, but has his own set of skills that work for him. I mean, Giannis averages 30 points a game and only plays 30 minutes, right? Giannis won MVP last year, and then this year they're on a historic pace to win like 69, 70 games this year. That ain't happening to everybody that's 7 feet. But Giannis also isn't Kevin Durant. Right? Kevin Durant's 7 foot, but he is somebody we would call a more skilled basketball player. Right? Like that, I mean, that is the truth. Kevin Durant has more guard skills than Giannis does. He can dribble, he can shoot, he can pass. Along with being 7 feet, blocking shots, getting rebounds. So I think that's where James Harden was getting at. He's like, yo, dude might be all right. You know, dude's good. But he ain't KD. Now, this is why I like this. One, this is what the NBA needs, right? Too many guys are buddy-buddy. That stems from LeBron James. This is not a problem, right? Like, I love it that because LeBron is so welcoming to current players, past players, young players, old players, they all have like this brotherhood, and they're all really good friends. They hang out. They all hang out in LA during the summer. They all work out together. They play pickup games. And I think that culture was pretty much a result of LeBron James, because when Kobe was playing, he wasn't buddy-buddy with all these guys. He hung out with his family, but he trained, and he tried to kill you when he went on that court. Not to say these guys don't try to kill each other when they get on the court. They do. I mean, you see Kawhi, you see Giannis and James Harden, but LeBron James has kind of created a culture in the NBA, but since he's the leader, he's the face of the league, he has created this culture for everybody to be a lot of friends. You see him posting Instagram pictures with guys and these really inspirational quotes and captions with guys who he just played the night before. And so we don't get a lot of beef in the NBA. Right? We don't get a lot of guys that saying, like, just downright saying, I don't like this dude. Now, we don't need to be like in the 80s where these guys were tackling each other going to the basket. No, we don't need that. But having a couple dudes that can play each other high level. I'm not talking about minor dudes like Rondo. You know, no offense to Rondo and a beef with Chris Paul or Brandon Ingram beef with Chris Paul or what. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about two high-level superstars that might not like each other. Right? So by the next time these two teams play, Giannis is going to be like, I'm going to show you some skill. Right? And then James Harden got Russell Westbrook on his team, so you know he's going to go crazy. That is what, you know, competition breeds excellence. Right? So if Giannis goes out and scores 50 on the Rockets next game, I'm pretty sure he's going to have something to say about not being skilled. Right? Like that is like that. And that is what makes this game so beautiful. That's what makes sports amazing. And having these kind of beats. And I really like that these NBA players are really being more and more outspoken. Right? Like they're saying what's on their mind. You know, a lot of times in the NFL, because they really only try to talk to quarterbacks, you get a lot of quarterback talk. Or you get a lot of coaches speak from quarterbacks. You don't really get your personality. Well, because the NBA is so star-driven, it's not about a shield, it's about the players, they're more likely to say what's on their mind. And recently, they've been saying it more than ever. They talked to Bradley Beal the other day, and he was like, man, these dudes ran a boxing one. These are some bums. Like, what is this, high school? You run a boxing one on me. Like, boxing one defense is just some high school stuff. I hadn't seen that since high school is what he said. And you get Mo Harkless. He's like, they asked him, yo, you just traded from a contender to a team that won't make the playoffs on a 6-game losing streak. Does it suck? And he's like, yeah, it sucks. So you get these outspoken answers and no apologies for it, which is even better, right? When Isaiah Thomas came out and said something bad about Larry Bird, he had to apologize for it. These guys aren't apologizing for what they're saying. So, yes, this sort of beef, even it ain't even really beef, right? Like, they'll downplay it, but it is something. It's letting you know that they're paying attention to what's being put in the media, and they are looking at their opponents as opponents or their comrades as opponents, and they're taking notice. And James didn't like that Giannis said he couldn't pass. And I'm sure Giannis won't like that James says he has no skill. You know, that he just dunks. He has no skill in his game. Hey, man, I'm all for it. Keep it coming, NBA players. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for watching. Continue to hit the thumbs up button, like, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.